Hello, friends. This has to be a really speedy video because I have to go to work soon, but I wanted to talk through the 26 series that I would like to finish in 2026. Oh my God. I think. Did you get it? You getting him? What are you doing? Oh no. Are you wrestling? Get him, Bean. Children. Apparently it's slightly sort of wrestling time. All of these are series that I have started and never finished. And some of it is the books were still coming out and now they're complete and I just haven't caught up. And then some are ones that I need to reread for like a continuation series. There are a few of those in here. This is a kind of intimidating stack. There are 26 books here, but there are so many books in these series, and I'm like, oh, what have I just got myself into? Starting off strong, we are going to go with Lord of the Rings. I've read this so many times, but I tried to pick it up several years ago, like in the middle of COVID, and reread it, and I got maybe a third of the way through and just was like, okay, I can't do this right now. So I'm like, it's time. I just need to sit down and reread it. Like, one of my favorite series of all time. That's one of the rereads. The next one is Sorcery Rising. I read this a while ago, and probably when I was in high school. And it's like a Norse-inspired fantasy. I reread a little bit of it and just I wasn't super in the mood for it. So I put it back down, and it's one of those where after I finished it, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it on my shelf, but I wanted to reread it before I got rid of it, and haven't done that yet. And continuing in the Norse theme, I have Vinland Saga. This is a manga, and I have read probably 6 or 7 volumes of this, and then it has just continued, and I think it's finished. I hope it's finished. But I want to say somewhere in the realm of 14 volumes. And they've started coming out with the big deluxe editions that are omnibuses of 2 or 3 of these volumes in one large format. And I'm like, I don't think I need those. But I would like to finish the series in general. I keep looking at it and being like, yeah, I remember really enjoying this, and it's time. And luckily, since these are manga, it wouldn't take me as long as a 15 book series would. So that's a bonus. Next, we have Bonesmith. I read the first one. I have Ghostsmith, and I loved the first one. Luckily, this is just a duology. I am so excited to get back into this, and I want to reread this. This was one of my favorite books of last year. After that, we have Bone Shard Daughter. I have read the first 2 of these. I got the third one when it came out, but I think I had read the second one pretty close to when that one came out, so it had been about a year or so, and I remembered a lot of it, but not all of the finer details, and so I wanted to reread the first 2, or at least the second one. This is the January to March selection for Broken Binding. My rule for myself when I signed up for Broken Binding was that I had to stay on top of all the books that I was getting and actually read them as they arrived. I am only behind on Kings of the Wild. That one just arrived, and I have read it before, but again, a while ago. But now for this one, it's kind of just oh, well, now it's high time to get that done. After that, this is the only series that I have not started, but I have read other books from this author, and I've had this series in my house for a really long time. And luckily the first one is nice and short. And that would be the Air Awakens series by Elise Kova. This is a 5-book series. It's one of her YA series. I have read several of her other books and really enjoyed them, and so I was like, you know what? This has just been in my house for so long that it's high time. I did consider reading this for one of my Spookopoly prompts this year, and it just ended up going with something else. But yeah, I'm really excited, and these are really pretty additions. After that, we have This Vicious Grace. I read this, loved it, and it's only a duology, so that's really nice. Same with Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I have the second one. I also have the novella short story collection, whatever it is. I enjoyed this one the first time around. I don't know that I loved it, but I did want to read all of it before I made a decision on whether it stays in my house. Also, a duology is What the River Knows. I got the sequel of this over the summer, I think, and have yet to pick it up. I had really mixed feelings on this, and the sequel is gonna kind of make or break whether this lives in my house. A lot of people were talking about how this is like Death on the Nile meets The Mummy. The relationship doesn't have the Rick and Evie dynamic that I think a lot of us wanted, and so that comparison doesn't necessarily feel accurate to me. And then there was an event that happened towards the end of the book that I was like, that seemed unnecessary, and I don't think I really liked that. I do need to reread this because I read this like when it came out, which was a while ago. And yeah. What are you doing, sweet boy? I have a noodle. Yeah. Another one that I really enjoyed when I read it is Only a Monster. I was kind of upset when I finished it because I was like, there are so many things left unfinished. Like, what is this? Because at the time I thought it was a standalone, and then I realized that it was a series, and I was like, oh, okay, totally fine with all of it. So I finally think the third one is on its way to me, and I will be able to pick it up soon. It's also one of those where I'm like, I don't know how to categorize this. Like, I don't know where it would fit on my shelves. So we'll figure that out later. Another one that has a continuation series that I have not picked up is Red Rising. I have read this ages ago, and then when the continuation series came out, I was like, okay, I really need to reread this series, but I was like, I don't know that I am up for all of this emotional damage at this point in time. And I think I kind of just need to suck it up and deal with it. And again, also decide if it's going to stay in my house, because if it's not something that I love, then, why is it going to take up space on my shelves? I did really like it the first time around, but I read that probably 7 or 8 years ago. We'll see if it holds up. Do you need a blanket for it? Next, we have The Lives of Tao. I have read the first two of this and not the third one. And then there is a continuation, at least standalone. I don't know if there's another one after that. Don't jump on your brother, Albert. Albert. Oh my gosh. I know, he sat on you. He almost sat on you, didn't he? So the bean likes to sleep under blankets if he's on the couch. And then Bert likes to sleep on top of blankets and also loves to hunt blanket mice. So it's a really great combo when they're together. This one is also emotional damage in a different way, because this deals with, it's like there are these spirits who like have to live in a host, like otherwise they die. But there's this other group of beings that hunt the spirits and the people that host them, and those people are like in the government, and so it's just a little bit like Big Brother is watching, kind of government conspiracy type stuff. That's not a great description, but from what I remember, I was like, oh, this is going to hit like kind of close to home. But it's a really cool concept. So I really enjoyed it the first time that at least the first two that I read. Like, I say enjoy, like there was some emotional damage. And the third one is slightly different from the other two, I think, just based on events that happened at the end of book 2. And also by the same author, we have The Art of Prophecy. I just got the third one in this series, which is the final book in the trilogy. And I've just read the first one. This is like a martial arts movie in book form. Hi, sweet man. What do you think, Cecil? What are you doing? Hi, baby. Oh my gosh. Look at this sweet boy. Look at this sweet boy. I don't have much longer to talk, buddy. They're the only series that I might actually finish this month instead of in 2026, or at least get started now, is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I loved the first one and finally have the third one to actually sit down and complete the series in one go. And I am so excited. It is like the perfect time of year to be reading this series, at least the first one. And I'm really excited to jump back into it. This is one of my favorite types of stories where it's like the Fae are more folkloric and dangerous and cunning. I do plan on starting this year, but I don't know if I will finish it. Just after that, I have Kingdom of the Wicked. I have read the first two, but not the third one. I have heard really mixed things about the third one, but I do have the follow-up set of standalones, like the Throne of Secrets or whatever, and I have those on my shelves and need to read those before another one comes up. I need to pre-order because I got the Fairy Lou ones for whatever reason. I don't know if I want to read this for a third time and then continue into the second and third ones. We'll maybe decide that when we get there. Another duology, House in the Cerulean Sea. I loved this. I thought it was like a cinnamon roll of a book, like a warm hug of a book. I have Somewhere Beyond the Sea, but I wanted to reread this one before picking that one up. I don't know that I need to, because I do think they're fairly standalone from what I've heard. Also not entirely sure that one needed a sequel, or that this needed a sequel. I think it's really nice to have a warm hug of a book among all of this. Another one that I don't really know how to classify is The Luminaries. Oh my God, I have read the first two of these, got this third one, I think I got it last year. I loved this. I loved the first two, and I thought it was fantastic writing, like really well done. And then just haven't picked up the third one. I also just received Human Rights, the third book in Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I have read Queen Bee. I've read this one. I enjoyed this one, and I thought Queen Bee was fine. I just don't know. I don't know that it's a series that I love. Hi. I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. Another one that is going to probably be a reprieve from all the emotional damage is Long Way to Small Angry Planet. I have read this one and loved it. I have not read any of the others. I don't know if they all follow the same characters or if they follow different characters in each one, or like are somehow interconnected, but I loved this one, and I have the rest in the Illumicrate set that they did a few years ago, and it's just time. I just need to sit down with some cozy-ish sci-fi and also finish some books that are on my shelves. After that, we have The Prison Healer. I have read this first one, loved it, really liked the twist at the end, and then I started reading the second one and had to put it down and then just never came back to it. So I am really excited to get back to that. After that, I have East. This is a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon. And a few years ago, like, I don't know if it's like a full sequel that came out, but it's called, the sequel is West. And I loved this. Like, this is one of the books that started my obsession with East of the Sun, West of the Moon when I was a kid, and is one of my favorite stories of all time. I picked up West when I saw it at the bookstore because I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Like, best day ever. I was like, well, I definitely need to reread this before I go pick that up. I am so excited because I love this. This next one is, I think, the last one that has a continuation series, and that would be the, why do I have the second one? Whatever. The Golden Compass. As you can see, this is very well loved by me. I loved this when I was in like middle and high school. I have reread it so many times. The third book in that trilogy is coming out, I think, in 2026. So I was like, you know what? We need to pick this back up. I loved this, but this was also emotional damage. Like, you wouldn't think something geared towards middle grade YA audiences would be this devastating, but I remember like having my poor little heart like wrenched out of my chest at the end of this series, and for so many reasons. Like, this does not this does not pull any punches, and yeah, I feel like more children's fiction, whether it's middle grade or YA or whatever, needs to do that. That way everyone else gets to experience the trauma. I think I've been hesitating to get back into it because of that, because I just remember being so devastated at the end of this series, but also really excited to revisit some childhood things in a completely different direction. We have, this is the second book, Blood and Honey, sequel to Serpent and Dove. I have read Serpent and Dove twice, just have never continued on. So I need to read this to decide if I'm actually going to continue the series and finish it. And then this is the fourth book in a series of interconnected standalones. This is The Gentleman's Gambit, part of A League of Extraordinary Women. It's a group of 4 women who are suffragettes in the UK, and their romances. I have read the first 3 and just haven't continued and picked this one up to finish the series. I don't know if I need to reread those, more just actually sit down and read that one. Another one that is kind of in the same era is A Marvelous Light. I have read this first one, just not the remaining 2 in the trilogy. And then last but certainly not least, I have Radiant. This is actually one that Damien got me. It follows a girl who can like attach souls or ghosts to herself and figure out what will make them move along. And then she finds one, like she can see the ghosts around her and like what tethers them to this world instead of moving on. And she finds one that is still technically alive, like their body is still alive, but their soul is elsewhere. And there's like a whole, it's sort of like dystopian sci-fi-ish. Anyway, those are the 26 series. I may get a head start and finish Emily Wilde this year, but maybe not. It's a little daunting, but I think we can at least get a good chunk of these sorted out and at least make some decisions on ones that I'm uncertain will stay on my shelves or not. So yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these series, or if you have any series goals for 2026, and wish me luck. I will see y'all next time. Bye.